Today's league race in PSGL is probably the most important one of the entire season. We arrive here at this race after a couple of poor showings the last couple of races, of course. As you guys know, I have been busy. I've been, moving, house, and also I recently was in the UK, so I hadn't been able to practice, and that goes for this race as well. So in this particular race, we could potentially be out of championship contention. So pause the video and digest this, but right now in the championship standings, we are joint second with the race winner last time out, Mr. John Evans. As it stands, Sam Bean could win the championship here this race if myself and John don't score points. So we'll see how that goes. But you guys know the story by now in regards to, my history with USA. It's probably my worst track in the game, pretty much. I've had my experiences around Spa with the spins, but I still quite enjoy Spa. I don't enjoy USA, and it has been a bad track for me. So I'm not expecting miracles per se, and all I can hope for is that I get a clean race with no penalties, and I hope that's enough to give me a decent position, because after practice I am off the pace here. I don't seem to be fully on it, so it could be a bit of a tricky one. End of our first lap though in qualifying on the mediums. We do a 32.5, I think that is, if I can see that correctly, on the medium. Now in this race, I am currently on a Discord kind of call with John Evans, who is of course my championship rival in second place, my teammate Lewis Welch, and our race engineer for the three of us this race, Haas F1 Esports driver Matthias Van Erven. So yeah, here we go, onto the soft tyres now as we get underway for my best lap in qualifying. So let's go for a full lap of Kota, and let's see. So up towards turn 1, braking at the black box on the right, down to third gear, try to go a bit late on the apex and make sure you carry some good exit speed. Didn't quite trouble the apex through turn 1, but still decent enough. Into the S as we go, flat out in the first two, and then a bit of a lift and downshift in the final parts as we do a 24/7 in the first sector, which is not very good. I don't know why people can do 24/5 and even 24/4, and I can't seem to get anywhere near that for some reason in the first sector. And I think I lose all the time in turn 1. Not quite sure why. Down to the hairpin, we have a bit of overslip. We do get a relatively clean exit, and so far for me this feels like a really good lap. So the first half of the lap is done. We're now going to tackle the kind of slower part of the lap here with all the Mickey Mouse section and the slow speed corner. So on the brakes at the 100, cut the inside curb here. There's time to gain at, I believe, turn 10, then into the double right, nice and easy over the curb here, short shifting to make sure we avoid wall spin, then into the double left, third gear, nicely in there with the late apex, and then short shifting our way out to make sure the traction is nice and clean, flat out through the triple rights here as we keep the car nice and tight. And then now the final two corners, try to not invalidate over the left, probably went a bit too safe there, could have definitely pushed that a bit more. The final corner, third gear, loads of inside curb, be easy on the throttle and exit, across the line, and it's a 30.9, which is not great. My personal best is a 30.7. I've done that in practice, so I've done that lap only once, I think, in practice. After that I could only ever do 0.9s, and that's kind of where my pace is. On the final runs in qualifying, I was up in the first two sectors, but I just didn't really do that well in the final sector. There was more time to find, especially in sector 1. I didn't really do it. I was only up by a fraction pretty much the entire lap, and then the final sector wasn't that great. We do find a bit of time through there. The penultimate corner, like I mentioned before, there was a bit of time on the table, but I messed up the final corner completely, outbraking myself, locking up, and unfortunately not improving. So GG, game over. Not to say there was more pace in it. That is my pace. That is realistic, and even on what I would consider a pretty strong, nearly perfect enough lap for me, that is only P11 with a 30.9. So we are a long way off the pace. Norberto, the surprise pole man, with a high 4. John Evans in the 30.5s. And the pace generally wasn't that fast, actually. I was expecting low 30s, but nobody seemed to quite deliver around here. So P11, the good news is that we're on the alt strap. Our teammate Lewis Welch is in P16. So we'll see what happens, but we're both outside the top 10. Hopefully, though, with the alt strap, we can try and have a decent race. Now then, here we go, a crucial race in the championship. The championship leader, Samuel Bean, starts ahead of us, P10 to our left, and he's on the soft tire, so he's going to be strategically in the worst position possible. So here we go, the lights are on for the US GP And we're underway as we try to get a good start on the mediums. It's not too shabby, but Jonas Rutten and also crucially Joe Hannon on the soft tyres get great starts into turn 1, 3 abreast as we go through the middle, trying to avoid having contact. We get sandwiched into Joe, double checking for damage, which we do not have, luckily enough. As we now go into the S's, I'm going to have to back off here as Jonas takes the race in line, and we'll just sit back for now and be patient. We've got Christian Hausman behind us, also on the softs as Lewis Welch up to P15. Yellow flag behind for some sort of incident as Jonas actually disconnects from the lobby. So we're going to go ahead and try to pass him here and get back ahead of him. That way,
next to his name.
That means we are the lead alt strap car, you know, on the medium. So into the hairpin, we've got a spinner as well, Eduardo Leo in the Red Bull backwards at the hairpin. So not good news for him. And we're now up to P11, so back where we started, behind Joe Hannon and Luke Smith. Meanwhile, behind Christian Hausman using a load of battery here to try and put us under some pressure. I'm not going to fight it too hard because he is on softs. Realistically, he's going to be faster than me. I'm going to, try to hang on if I can, but without using ERS as we go side by side into the slow section here in sector 3, getting a big bit of oversteer as Hausman takes the inside line. Still fighting though side by side through here as we now see who gets the better traction as we go into the triple rights. We get a bit of understeer, but Hausman gets it done around the outside using the grip of the soft tyres to go around the outside and making a nice clean move. So we're down to P12, Lewis Welch up to P13. So right now we are currently 1-2 on the alt strat on the mediums, which is a positive in a way. But now Lewis actually trying to attack here into turn number 1. This is pretty insane. This wasn't part of the plan. I was a bit surprised when it happened, but you'll hear now what happened and why it did.
Shit, it's you.
Yeah, I was going to say, you fucking sure about that?
Boys are Williams.
That's behind you, mate. I was going to say I'm going to try and censor this race, but I was like, nah, surely you just sit there. So yeah, a bit of a miscommunication. I thought Lewis noticed it was me, but he didn't actually realise it was me. He was trying to attack me like I was some other car. Luckily, he realised, he backed off, and we assumed the position. But having said that, Lewis is faster than me, so I don't mind letting him by. Oh, it's gone, that's a W.
It's left like 3 times already. Giving me screen freezes every time. Can's pit jump, by the way. Most definitely.
So yeah, overall, it's looking pretty decent.
Yeah,
Dylan Warren has disconnected. Chana Kinchi in the pit lane, possibly for damage. So right now, we're P10 in the points. Lewis tucked in behind. And we are just chilling right now on the mediums, waiting for the time when the mediums come into their own and we can start to push a little bit. So yeah, on to lap 6 now. And I have a bit of a moment through turn 1. Got to stop hitting that inside curve. You can hear me say I keep hitting that inside curve, which just really destabilizes the car, and I actually lose a load of time. And I think it's where I lose time in sector 1 in general, is turn 1. I can't seem to be fast through there. And we're on the brink here of dropping out of DRS range of Hausman here.
Wait, what's the matter?
I've got to stop hitting that inside curve at turn 1. Keeps on settling me and I lose all momentum and minimum corner speed.
Yeah, you can hit the red and white, you can't hit the orange.
God warning. Fuck. I might have dropped out of DRS here, so if I have, just pass me straight away. Waste no time.
Well, let me know if you have.
Don't have it. Go. So bad news then. I have had a pretty terrible first sector. I mean, it's still a personal best first sector, like it's green, but I lost 3/10 because my turn 1 just isn't up to scratch with everybody else, and that's where I lose time around here, and I don't know what to do. In the process, we also dropped out of DRS range, getting our first warning for track limit, so I decided to let Lewis go, and I told him to push on because he was faster. Struggling to hold on. Sam Corby, 3 seconds.
Get behind Sam is 7 seconds.
So yeah, more cars in the pits as penalties started to take effect. Lewis was very fast, and I was more than happy to let him go by. I'm just slow here, man. I don't have an answer to the pace, to be honest with you. Careful when dropping me here, Lewis.
We'll lose the answer.
Yeah. Now you can hear me say I'm trying to tell Lewis, be careful, don't drop me out of the DRS range because it could be tricky for me to keep up. Luckily on this lap I am going to be able to stay with him for now, so it's not all doom and gloom. I have a big moment of oversteer there over the top of the hill, and you can see I'm overheating like crazy on the mediums. I've got 3 of the 4 tyres in the yellow, and I'm lost for words while that's happening on the mediums because I don't understand how I'm killing my tyres so much.
Oh, you're overheating?
Yeah. I had 3 tyres in yellow there. At a moment now, the yeses. So it's not looking great. We're going to skip on though in this race and move forward.
I don't
I'm pushing
know.
John to try and get Joe's DRS.
In WR, most people pit lap 9, 10.
I'll go 10.
I have a look at the gap for Roberto.
Just do your thing, Lewis. I can't keep up. And there's the key admission. I just can't keep up. I told Lewis, just go, do your race. I can't match it.
Joe's got 10% ERS now.
Now, what Lewis is trying to do here is to catch Joe Hannon because a lot of cars have pit, so the DRS trend is falling apart, and Lewis wants to get DRS on Joe. I'm trying to follow, but I just can't keep up. I'm overheating like crazy. I can feel it. I don't have the pace, and I'm overheating. Yeah, my front left's 107. As you can see there, my front left on 107. And it's just a shame, but it's the reality. And I don't know what it is around here. I tried multiple setups, very different setups. I didn't practice a lot, admittedly, but even still, no setups seemed to help me and resolve the fact that I was half a second off the pace, you know, comfortably. So, yeah, not really, you know, what you want to hear, not really what I want to accept, but it's the reality. It has been the case, you know, on this year's game, last year's game, F1 2019 as well. It's just the way it goes. I just don't seem to have pace at Austin. I can maybe do like a decent, half decent one lap in qualifying, but race pace isn't there. And usually I'm a race pace kind of guy. I'm usually the one who on Sundays, you know, or when it matters when the points are scored, I tend to do better in the race. My qualifying has never been great, but around here, and even my race pace can get me out of trouble. I just can't keep up. Lewis now 2 seconds plus and pulling away as we've got Jack Laverty for company, and pretty much he's not too fast either. We're just kind of, you know, he's just sitting there charging up his battery, waiting for the right time to pass me, and I don't have enough pace to drop him, which is quite frustrating. So we're just chilling right now in this little two-car train as we have a bit of a moment.
Joe's battling Lewis.
Fuck. My tyres are hot, all 4 of them. You can see I'm having loads of moments as I really struggle on the tyres now.
When that position is he?
14th. He's behind Get Owned. Was lagging quite a lot.
Jack Laverty get me here.
He's losing all the time.
So here comes Jack Laverty. We're not going to fight this. It's just impossible. I'm using up a lot of my battery for no reason. We'll just let him go and see what his pace is like. Hopefully he can be a bit quicker than me and try and drag us along. But at this stage, my pace is gone. The mediums have gone as well. I think at the end of the stint, I had like 7% more tyre wear than Lewis on the front left, which is crazy. No answer for that. Oh shit, got a warning. I followed Jack in. And we get a second warning, as you hear me say, I followed Jack into that corner. He cut it himself, and so did I, as a consequence. Fuck me. Must be getting a penalty then.
I only have used soft, so I might go one lap more to whoever, if you pit first or whatever.
I'm thinking lap 17. Now just quickly discussing some strategy as we try to not clash. I do have a fresh set of soft tyres that I saved in qualifying because I went for my usual medium soft strategy. Will that work or not? Who knows? Either way, right now we're just sitting behind Jack and just trying to see what the pace is like. A bit annoyed that a second warning took place because I'm pretty sure I'll probably get a penalty this race now. Keeping it clean around here is very hard for me. And like I said, it's just not a good track. You know, every driver has those tracks where you just know you're not very fast. And this one has always been a bit of an Achilles heel for me. So I'm still trying to fight on. We're still currently P2. Lewis Welch leading the race as he tries to, you know, run at a good pace. You can see the gap now is 4 seconds. Lewis much faster here. Now, lap 17, the leaders have caught up to us. They've done their stops and mediums. And I'm trying to stay ahead of Jack here because it's very important that we don't get swirled up by the pack of leaders, because if we do, we're going to start getting dive bombed by everybody and we're going to lose time at every single corner. So John Evans, race leader behind us, as Jack has a moment here. We're going to go back up the inside.
What a mess.
And you can hear John say, what a mess. He's getting frustrated seeing us battle, but I'm trying to do my thing and do my race here because, you know, we've got a race to try and achieve. My tyres have hit the fucking cliff, my God. And you can hear me say the tyres have hit the cliff. So we're going to pit. I was going to pit on the last lap, lap 16, but I was convinced to go one more lap. In hindsight, it was probably a mistake, but I committed to it anyway, and we're now going to box for a set of softs.
What the fuck is that, man? And they both pit anyway. I lost. Fuck's sake. Oh my God.
As you can hear, John getting quite frustrated. I don't think he realised one of the two cars was me, but the game's the game. I just didn't have any pace to really kind of stop that from happening, really. But onto the soft tyres we go. Again,
Antoine's a point up.
They are fresh, so that could be key.
There's a Merc round.
So yeah, we're gonna push on and see what happens. Hopefully, we try and fight back. I'm not super confident. If we was overheating on mediums, we're probably going to overheat on softs. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and let's try and push on now.
So you'll probably catch with like 2 seconds per lap. At least that was the last games.
Yeah, I don't want to go too mad on the tyres. I want to have some tyres at the end. But they are fresh.
Yep.
I'm worried I'm going to overheat and it's going to stop me from progressing. Oh shit.
I got
Game
2
over.
seconds out.
You've
What
been
happened?
awarded a time
Got
penalty
penalty.
for that last incident.
Too much grip. And yeah, pretty much within 30 seconds, game over in this race. I keep doing little lockups though, which is killing my front tire. So we set up fastest lap, but we've got a 3-second time penalty now, so Lewis, how much battery do you have?
48.
It doesn't really matter anymore. Lewis Welch done his pit stop, and we're still 2.3 behind. And already I can tell you my tyres are starting to overheat. So as I mentioned before, I'm trying to drive slowly and not drive flat out to not kill my tyres off, but even then, it's not making a difference. We are going to get DRS here from Dylan Warren on lap 20, but again, it's not going to make a difference to our overall pace in this race. I don't think we're going to catch. Well, anyway. You can hear me say, I don't think we're going to catch the pack ahead of cars. You know, we should be catching on the Autostrat. Lewis will make it, but I am not going to make it. My pace just doesn't exist around here. 32.9, a whole second faster than me. Fucking hell. And you can see Antoine Desalewski a full second faster, which is really scary. Like the fact I'm like a second off the pace and I don't have an answer, it's a weird feeling. You know, a lot of times when you have bad races, you make mistakes or you've been caught up in crashes like the last one in Mexico, but this is one of them very, very rare times where I just genuinely am going flat out. I don't have an answer. My tyres are giving up. And at this point, you have to draw the line on maybe the setup wasn't the right way to go. I made a mistake. I chose the wrong one. Just pass me, Jack. Fucking hell. Let's go. You can hear me say, Jack, just go, because I know what he's doing. He's just sitting there waiting for me, and then he's going to make the move when I've got no battery, but I'm not actually using mine. We're better off kind of leapfrogging each other. But yeah, Jack goes by. We're down to P11 again, just outside the points. We do have that penalty as well, so that's going to stop us from making any real big progress at the end of the race. On to lap 22 now though, still Jack ahead of us. We've got a bit of a shuffle in the pack. Running the exact same setup you and me, and somehow I'm fucking struggling so hard. And you can hear me say as we get our 4th warning, I'm running the exact same setup as Lewis Welch, yet I'm struggling so bad. I believe I'm also running a setup that a few other guys in this race are running, and it just isn't working for me. So yeah, a bit frustrating. I tried 3 different setups in practice, and the first one ended up being the best one, and I didn't use it. So a bit unfortunate as Jack runs it wide into the hairpin now, lap 24. Why is Jack so bad at driving when he's ahead of me? Fucking hell. It's alright sitting behind me, but the minute he gets ahead, he drives terribly. They're so slow. As you can hear me, I'm getting a bit frustrated now because when Jack's ahead, he's just really slow. But then when he's happy to stick behind me and run at a good pace, which makes no sense. Worst thing is now he's going to try and repass me at the end of the race. And exactly that, he's going to try and pass me at the end. So we need to kind of plan for that and be aware and be ready in case that does happen. So here we are, lap 25 now on this race. I'm just not fast enough. I'm not catching up. It's a shame. We're just not making any progress. We're losing time to Lewis up ahead.
I think the tires are dropping as well now. Hard to stay very consistent.
There we go, Jack makes the move back down to P11 for now, and P11 out of P15, not really ideal. How does the car feel so much better when I'm behind somebody than when I'm ahead? It feels terrible when I'm in the lead car. And I'm having a bit of the same issue as Jack. When you're in front, the car feels like crap. It feels much better following for some reason. I don't know why it is the case, but it is. Lap 27 now though, a lap and a half to go. And Flores Vias runs off the track as he has too many penalties. He's going to pretty much retire from the race, so we're going to gain a place now.
Joe's got 20% of heroes now.
So yeah, we're into the top 10, into the points, as we're going to try to pass Jack Laverty now.
Okay,
I could wait until the last lap, but I want to make sure we do it now because I feel like I've got enough pace and ERS now to pull away. So here we go then, onto the back straight. We're going to try and make one more overtake and hope that it does the trick. So DRS wide open. We're going to wait, and we're going to try to use a minimal battery, not all of it. I want to try and save all of it if I can for when I actually try to pull away. So we make the move, we get our car back in front of Jack there just to kind of, you know, get ahead, and we cover off him trying to re-attack us here into the slow section. And here we go, then lap 28, yellow flag, and Norberto is backwards at turn 1. Incident with my teammate Lewis Welch.
Louis?
I killed. Not bad.
Okay. I just saw you tumble. I was like, oh, losing P5, you just got blown up.
As you hear Lewis say, He was the one responsible for taking out Norberto. Lewis did get a post-race 5-second penalty, so he's going to drop down the order. But right now we're behind Norberto here, and we have a chance. We're on the same penalties. Fucking hell, my tyres are done.
Wait.
And here we go then, down towards the hairpin. We had a bit of a moment, tyres are overheating, screaming hot, but still we're going to push on here as we can see Norberto's light flashing. John?
Yep.
I never want to hear you say you're slowing off the pace again, and this track's terrible. Ever again.
Are you shitting me?
Oh, are you shitting me?
Nah, shut up. I did a 0.5 in front of him. Oh, Louis P5 again.
I was having a go at John because he wouldn't stop moaning before the race when I was practicing with him, telling me that he was really off the pace and this was one of his worst tracks because he went on to win it by 5 seconds comfortably. So we got past Norberto anyway. In the background you saw that we had loads of battery, and we're catching up to Pedreño here, who's really struggling. Making a bit of a late flurry here, a bit of a late push in this race. Tyre temperatures are hanging in there, but the reality is the penalty is going to make it quite hard for me to make any real progress as we round off the race with John Evans winning here today.
GG, Joe.
Not the Euro racing, but...
I got P4.
Green flag.
I don't know if I'll
Green
keep it.
flag. We're racing.
And there we go then, race done. Lewis Walsh finishes P4, even with a 5 seconds added to his time. He doesn't drop behind us. He finishes, plus 14 off the leader. So to be fair, by the end of the race, our 3-second penalty didn't really factor into the final race result. The big surprise was Eduardo Leo, who got spun round on lap 1 at the hairpin. He managed to fight back, pitting on lap 1 for hard tyres and taking them all the way to the end. He finished in P5, so great drive from him. He was P4 on track, P5 after penalties. John Evans wins it comfortably by 5.3 seconds, and that's 2 wins in a row for him. Luke Smith P2 and Sam Bean, the championship leader, P3 from P10 on the grid on the worst possible strategy. So for us, after that race, it is now mathematically impossible. I cannot win the championship. We are out of championship contention with 2 races to go. The next one will be Azerbaijan, the one after that will be Brazil for the finale. So we're out of it. Season done for us. All we can do now is try to finish in 2nd place, and we're locked in with the battle with John Evans. But after that race win, John is going to pull away quite a bit, so we're going to need a bit of luck to try and turn this one around. Either way, that is it from me here today, guys, for PSGL. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe for more daily F1 content and weekly league racing content. I'll stream on my Twitch, so link down below. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that one. As always, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.